simple control of focus within your photography can really make a difference in your images. It lets the viewer's eye focus on the part of your picture that you want them to, and adds more interest to the shot. Each Nikon DSLR has several different focus modes and settings, and you can read about them all in the included user's manual. But there are two settings in particular that I'd like to show you how to use. They're both within a mode called AF Area Mode. The AF Area modes are selected using the information display on your DSLR's information panel. Just press the I button, and then use the selector to highlight AF Area Mode. When you click the OK button, you'll see a number of different selection options. These selections let you choose the part of the frame that the camera will focus on. But one thing to note is that these settings operate only when you're using the viewfinder to frame your shot, one of the great benefits of using a DSLR. Auto Area AF is the setting you'll probably use the most. This lets the camera automatically detect the subject and then automatically selects the appropriate focus points. This is perfect for group shots or any time that you're shooting a number of subjects which are framed primarily in the center portion of the picture, ensuring that all the subjects are sharp. But when you want more control over your focusing, you can select Single Point AF. Single Point AF lets you choose the exact portion of the frame that you want in focus. When you look in the viewfinder, you'll see a small red focus point dot. Just use your thumb on the camera's multi-selector to move the dot over to rest on top of the part of the picture you want in focus. And now, when you take the picture, the subject is perfectly sharp. This comes in handy when you want to select a single subject out of a number of foreground and background elements, or if you want to focus on a subject that isn't within the center of the frame, or a single subject creatively framed within the outside area of your shot. By taking control of your autofocus, I think you'll really enjoy the difference it'll make in your photography. One of the more creative looks in photography is a picture where a subject stands out within one part of the frame, while other elements are softer. It draws your attention to the subject and gives the image a real sense of depth. And getting this type of look is easy with your Nikon DSLR and Nikon lenses. When you're taking a picture with subjects at various distances from the camera, you can use the aperture to help control which subjects will be sharp and which will be soft. The aperture is indicated by numbers with the letter F in front of them. In fact, they're called f-stops. Here's a simple demonstration to show you how to work with the aperture. I've lined up these numbered blocks from about 3 feet away to about 9 feet away. To control the aperture, I just turn the mode dial on the top of the DSLR to A for aperture priority. I change the aperture by turning the command dial here with my thumb. You can see the aperture numbers changing inside the viewfinder or on the DSLR's information display on the LCD. Now, on this particular lens, the numbers go from f4.5, which lets in the most light, to f22, which lets in the least amount of light. Okay, so first I'll set the aperture to the higher number, f22, and line up a picture shooting down the line of blocks and focus on the middle block. As you can see, all the blocks are in focus. Now I'll select a lower number aperture, f4.5. I'll line up the same shot and focus on the same middle block. Now, only the middle one is sharp, and all the rest are out of focus. Here's a series of pictures taken at the various aperture settings available on this lens. See how more blocks become more and more in focus as the f number gets higher? That's a good way to remember it. The lower the number, the less in focus. The higher the number, the more in focus. Here's another example. Let's say I wanted a nice picture of my friends here. First, I'll select a larger number, f11, and take a picture. They look great, but the background is a little distracting. Now, I'll change the aperture to f4.5 and try again. There, that looks much better. There's they're nicely isolated from the background, drawing the attention on them. Go out and try these simple experiments yourself. I think it'll add a whole new level of creativity to your photography and draw more attention to your subject. One of the challenges in still photography is shooting a moving subject. Sometimes you want to freeze the action. Other times, you want to give your subject a sense of speed or movement, even though it's a still picture. Well, your Nikon DSLR has everything you need to get these feelings of motion or speed across in your images. The part of the exposure that controls the amount of blur or frozen action is called the shutter speed. To control the shutter speed, I just turn the mode dial on top of the DSLR to S, or shutter priority mode. I change the shutter speed by turning the command dial. You can see the numbers change here in the viewfinder or here on the LCD. Shutter speed numbers are actually fractions of a second, so if you see a shutter speed of 4,000, that's actually 1/4000th of a second. The numbers we'll usually work with are between 1/15th of a second, or 15, and 1/4000th of a second, or 4,000. Okay, so how do I use these numbers to get the sense of motion that I want? I'll use this spinning bicycle wheel as an example. First, I'll pick a higher number, let's say 1,000, and take a picture of this moving wheel. That high shutter speed froze the spinning action of the wheel and makes it look like it's not moving at all. Now I'll dial in a lower number shutter speed. I'll try the 15. Now the center of the wheel is sharp, but the spokes are a blur of motion, and you definitely get a sense that this is spinning. As Danielle rides her bike around the driveway, I'll try a few different shutter speeds and see what happens. I'll start with a higher number again, 1/1000th of a second. Look what that setting did. It completely froze the action. Now I'll set my shutter speed to 1/15th of a second and try again. Look how there's a real feeling of movement and energy in this shot. You really get a sense of motion. Here's one of my favorite uses of VR image stabilized lenses and creative use of shutter speed. Next time you're near a stream or waterfall, try using the lower shutter speeds when you take your picture. Here's the picture with the faster shutter speed number. See how it froze the water? Actually, it doesn't even look like moving water. Now, when you use a lower shutter speed, look what happens to the water. It becomes this soft-looking blanket of fog almost. It's really beautiful. Motion in your still images is easy to convey once you know how to control the shutter speed to either freeze or blur the action. So get out there, have some fun trying it. You already know that your Nikon DSLR takes phenomenal still images, but if you haven't spent much time shooting videos yet, you're missing out on a lot of fun. Your compatible Nikon DSLR has the ability to record amazing, high-quality video clips with just the press of a button. Professional film and video producers are using Nikon DSLRs to shoot remarkable movies, commercials, and other videos all around the world. In fact, we're filming this entire production with Nikon DSLRs and Nikon lenses. So, let me share a few tips to help you take better videos. Nobody likes to watch shaky videos, so here are a few tips to help you steady things up. First, If your lens has a vibration reduction switch, make sure it's switched on. This activates the lens's image stabilization feature. To steady the camera when you're hand holding it, take the camera strap and put it around your neck. Then push the camera out so that the strap is taut. Now you can move the camera smoothly as you follow the action in nearly any direction without any jumpy motions. Another trick is to brace yourself by leaning against a structure. This is especially helpful when you're zoomed in on your subject because that's when camera shake is most noticeable. Now, if you happen to have a tripod, that's probably one of the easiest and most convenient ways to get real steady video. People often forget that there's an important second half to video, and that's audio. Good audio enhances your movie clips just as much as high-quality video. Your DSLR has a precision microphone built right in. Make sure you're aware of its location so that you don't accidentally cover it or rub your fingers near it when you're recording. When you're using the built-in microphone, make sure you're fairly close to your subjects if you want to pick up good, clear sound.
That was great.
That was amazing. What else can you do?
I could do a cartwheel.
Now, as for the content of your videos, all the same techniques and styles that make your still images great can be used to make great videos. Be sure to take advantage of all the different views and looks that you get with your lenses. And make sure you shoot some scenes using a wider aperture, such as f1.8 or f3.5 if your lens allows, since that will give you a nice shallow depth of field and make your videos look very cinematic. That beautiful filmic look is one of the biggest advantages of shooting videos with a DSLR. But try to explore interesting angles and perspectives when you shoot. Sometimes you'll find that getting away from shooting at eye level, which is how we tend to see our world all the time, will result in really interesting scenes. And my last tip is to remember that since you're the one shooting the video, you also get to be the director. Feel free to engage your subjects. Ask them questions or suggest an action. Give them something to do. Then, steady yourself up, start recording, and have a blast creating great, memorable movies. One of the primary benefits of owning and using a Nikon DSLR is the ability to take advantage of a wide selection of precision Nikon lenses and other accessories that can easily add an entirely new level of creativity to your images and videos. If your Nikon DSLR came with a lens included, such as this 18 to 55 millimeter zoom, then you already have a lens that can be used for a wide variety of applications and different situations. But there are a few specialty lenses that you may want to consider as your photography interests increase. Changing lenses is quick and easy. Just press this button, rotate the lens until it stops, and then remove the lens. To put on the new lens, just line up these white dots, rotate the lens until it clicks, and that's it. The lens I just put on is one of those lenses you may want to consider. It's a 35mm f1.8. This is a compact, lightweight lens that's perfect for travel and portrait photography. The f1.8 part of the name means that it's also great for taking pictures in low light, and that makes it an excellent lens for interior shots, sunsets, or taking pictures in a museum. And because it's an f1.8 lens, it's a great choice for whenever you want to isolate the subject from the background. Now here's another one I like. It's the 40mm f2.8 micro. Micro means that it's perfect for extreme close-up photography. With this lens, you can get within about 6 inches of your subject, which will create dazzling images with the smallest of details. Another great lens is this 70 to 300mm AFP zoom, which is fantastic for getting you close to your subject, especially wildlife or sports. Okay, most Nikon DSLRs have a built-in pop-up flash, but there are times when you could use a bit more power and versatility, and that's where the SB500 speed light comes in. The speed light connects in seconds, just like that. And And now it's connected to the camera's built-in computer to ensure great results. This speed light is perfect when you're shooting in a large room and need a lot of light, since the SB500 provides more power than the pop-up flash. You can also rotate the flash head upwards, like this, which produces a softer looking result called bounce flash. The speed light is also great for something called fill-in flash. Fill-in flash means using the light from the speed light to fill in light into the shadows, usually created by hard sunlight. Here's a good example. The hard sunlight is creating some deep shadows in her face, and the picture is not as pleasing as it could be. But now, if I use the speed light and try again, the darker areas are balanced out with the sunlight. The shadows are minimized, and we end up with a really great looking shot. From dozens of interchangeable lenses to powerful speed lights, these are only a few of the accessories that you can get for your Nikon DSLR. To learn about all of these great accessories and more, visit NikonUSA.com.